okay, I need to get this one, this specific one. Yes. Such a high school thing. I'm already as who's who. So my name is Brian Babu. I say it like Kenyans. My names are. My name is Brian Babu. I am a stylist based in Nairobi, Kenya. And I do all things fabulous and style. I have been in the game for 10 years. It was 10 years in March. Because what? So there's one particular event that stands out for me. I think in my first year, there's a styling competition that we were doing for Kenya Fashion Awards. So I remember that day vividly because I had exams and I had to leave. I had to go for the competition and I had to leave quickly even before they announced the results because I had exams. So we went and it was at Village Market, Milcolin. It was a styling competition and they were supposed to get an upcoming stylist of the year. So I did the styling. I had to present the first person, then bounce. So I learned that I'd won, like, I think on the day of the competition, like, yo, come for the, please make sure you come because you won. Like, what do you mean? I won. They were like, yeah, your styling was quite impressive. The things you put together were very impressive, and we think like you're quite great. So that's how I sort of was like, okay, I mean, this we could give it a try. Yeah. Let me just tell you, like, anyone who loves something and wants to be successful, especially when they work in creative, there's a lot of sacrifices. Number one, it's time. For the initial part of my career, I had to put in a lot of time. So I had to forgo a bit of friendships. I had to forgo relationships just to grow my brand to where I wanted it to be. So yeah, there's a lot of investment in time that people don't see that needs to happen for it. Those 10,000 hours that people talk about, it's a real 10,000 hours that you need to give. It's like, yeah. There is no sell by date. There is no, a great friendship, if they are meant to be in your life, they will always be there. If they are not, they will fall off. And there's an analogy that I use that I had somewhere a while back, that everyone goes through a turn. You see, when you're carried by a motorbike, if the bike guy turns like this, you also have to turn. If you remain, you sort of fall off. So over time, with my relationships and friendships, what has sort of happened is, with my turns, because again with the work, a lot of turns happen. So with my turn, if you fall off, I might pick you along the way again, but then that moment was not for us. But if I turn and we turn together, you'll stay. There is no glamour in styling. I think that has to be the biggest thing, because people sort of imagine that with the work that I do, that I sit somewhere and summon clothes to appear. When in real life, I actually have to go and outsource a lot of things and approve, and it's pretty much very hands-on. You're sort of co-creating it with the designers or the tailors you're working with. So there is no glamour. That is a very important. I think that's where people imagine that I make just things happen out of the blue. They don't. There's a lot of time and effort that sort of goes into it, and there's a lot of time that sort of goes into it as well. So there's absolutely no glamour in the world of fashion and styling. I mean, there's the final result is glamorous, but the process of it is really not glamorous, especially working in Kenya. It's not really glamorous. So generally, a Kenyan and beyond, there's the fear of longevity. Will I be relevant 5 years from now? Will I be relevant 10 years from now? It being a career that a lot of my predecessors who have sort of done what I do sort of branched out into different things. But I've wanted to do styling as a long-term thing. Not something I'd thought about initially, but over time it's something I've wanted to do long-term, just in various capacities. I think my biggest concerns have been the longevity. But how have I worked through that? I think you take a day at a time and you also plan. That helps a lot, so that you're not there stuck wondering, and a bit you hit a bit of a snag at some point, but you reinvent yourself. So I'm only capable of being myself. What you see is what you get. There isn't like, oh, there's a hidden persona, and my energy is what it is. So when I love to laugh with you and be happy, I will. When I'm not feeling it, I'm also not feeling it. So but also what has gotten me to this point is I have learned that you have to have people who help you stay grounded. And you also have to do it yourself also, but you also need a support system. So mostly for me, it's family. When I go home, I am a child of my relatives, and I am a sibling. I'm a brother to my siblings and an uncle to my nieces and nephews. So that all these other things do not matter when I enter that space. I mean, someone might need help with something, but I did it for family way before I did it professionally. So when I get home, I am a child. I am anyone when they get to their family. I don't carry all these other things and popularity home. I go back to the things that I love and why I started doing what I do. I did it because I loved clothes. I love clothes. Then I sat down the other day and thought about it. I actually genuinely do love clothes and genuinely do enjoy dressing up. So I do it to enjoy. So when the fun is pulled out of it, and all these things are the things that sort of remove the fun from it. It's like, oh, you have to be like this. You have to be like, no, you don't have to be anything. You just have to be yourself. And even with my work, I try to dress the personality, dress you as a personality, not dress what people imagine you as. And I think that's why it's gotten me this far. So I interact with the person, not the personality. Beef stew, traditional mbogas, and ugali. It's like a very nice comfort meal. Yeah. Sometimes also it can be a cup of tea. Yes. I'm random like that. I don't know. And then if you put like a shot of whiskey in the tea, so good. So good. After a long day, so good. I'm listening to London Grammar. I'm listening to Richard Bonner. It's old music, but it's really nice. It depends on how you look at it. It's just vibes. I'm trying to rewatch Suits. My attention span is terrible, but I'm trying to rewatch Suits now. Any new music? I started listening to Mandy the other day. That babe is really giving. I don't know, like, first of all, if people don't know, I might look bougie, but deep down, I just like gengeton and genge, and that's just my jam. I've just been that person. Guys, if I've not put you onto something, you need to listen to Mandy. Like, she's just, I don't know, I just find her extremely cool and fun. Very, very much. And just even how she does her videos and just her as a personality, She's super cool. Babes, you just come, we do styling, just even one photo shoot and just hang out for fun. It's an album by Sauti Sol, Solo Philosophia, because of the music in that album is very experimental. If you listen to the body of that specific body of work, so I would say that describes me, because most of the things I've been doing for my work and just how I've been figuring out my life is very experimental. Yeah, it's just like, if you just try this, try something different, do something different, try something interesting, try something eccentric. That's pretty much that album. I was in campus. I think I was finishing my first semester in campus, and I was at my friend's room in Nyayo. If you're going to KU, first of all, KU people, what up? I was in one of the hostels in Nyayo, and my friend had it on their laptop, and that's the first time I listened. It was like, this is quite cool, and you don't have to just. So every time I sort of just want to detach and listen to something different, I listen to that album. Well, guys, there's no cheat code apart from putting in the right hours and doing your research. I wish there was. I just feel like so many people imagine it as a quick fix. It's not. It's not something that, it's not an overnight success. The brand Babu has probably been in the making for almost 20 years or more. I mean, professionally it's 10, but before the 10 years there's a lot that sort of went on behind the scenes that people don't know of. The experiences that sort of impact and sort of make me come up with the ideas the way I come out. There's an amount of research that goes into what I decide to do and how I do it. So the patching shot is just do the work, and it always pays down the road. It might take longer than you expect, but it always definitely pays.